Okay, what is a gaming standard? Okay, what is a standard? Okay, there's different types of standards, okay? There's different types of standards in gaming, okay? The first important one is a standard that has been established over many years. So, split screen was a thing in 1997. Yes, it's starting to sort of filter out because game developers get lazy, but it's still a standard. It's still established standard. It's been an established standard in Halo all the way up to Halo 4 in 2012. So it is still a standard. Gears of War 4 just had split screen 2-player. It's still a standard, right? So split screen is a standard in video games, particularly first person shooters and shooters in general, right? That's a standard that we can all accept is a standard, right? Now, what else do we have? Okay, there's a personal standard, right? I might say this game sucks because it's not up to my standards, but you might be up to your standards, okay? One man's trash and another man's girlfriend, yada, yada, yada. Everyone's got their own personal standards, but your own personal standards are normally reflected by the original standards, the gaming standards in general. But for some reason, fanboys have a problem where they can't understand what a standard is. And that's where this video is trying to come in, trying to explain what a standard is. And when I can catch my breath, maybe we can do that. So the first problem is understanding what type of standards there actually is. So the first standard is gaming standard, okay? All right, I'll make some notes. This is gaming standard, right? So something that is a standard in the world of video games, right? For instance, split screen. Then take a game. Is there a standard specific to a specific game? Okay, so let's say just use Halo because obviously this is apparently a Halo channel because no one watches anything else that I upload. But yeah, so Halo standards, right? Okay. Now, just because Halo 5 doesn't have a feature, that doesn't mean that feature isn't standard in the series, because it's been established over many years. These standards are established, and because games, if every single game that comes out from now on doesn't have split screen in the Halo series, it's still a standard that the fans expect, because it is something that they're so used to having that without it, it's an insult. It's an insult to the fan base, right? So Halo standards, split screen would come under both. It would come under gaming standards and Halo, right? So that's why it's such a big fuck up to remove it, right? But there's stuff in Halo that's not in other games, like theater mode, for instance. That would be like a Halo standard. Or Forge mode, that's like a Halo thing. You don't get Forge mode in Call of Duty, right? So it's not a gaming standard. It is a standard to the specific series that we expect, right? There are people that have standards, their own standards, right? So personal standards, right? A personal standard is something you can't really define. It's what you yourself think. And but you are affected by all other standards, right? So if your personal standard is you don't give a shit about the standards that we're talking about, then you've got problems, but obviously you are free as a free individual to have that thought. It just makes you an idiot. But again, that would be my opinion. But that doesn't mean I'm wrong. So under personal standards, what we can also have is a double standard. And what a double standard basically is, as everybody probably knows, is that you'll have a certain standard for one thing, but another one for another one. So take Rony Boney, for example. Quite happy to support microtransactions and things in Battlefield, but against microtransactions in Call of Duty. Supports the model of Battlefront 2, but is against the model in Halo 5, when they're the same. Exactly the same model, mind you. You get people you'll get people that are outraged over no campaign in Call of Duty, yet quite happily play Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege. Quite happily. No complaints. No complaint whatsoever. Yet they're lacking a campaign. something which you complain about in Call of Duty. Now that comes back to the standards, right? Because Call of Duty's always had a campaign, therefore it is a standard, right? But you need to adopt the same standards across the board, okay? You need to educate yourself, okay? The reason Call of Duty Black Ops 4 does not have a campaign is because Rainbow Six Siege was a success, because Overwatch was a success, because people bought the 360 version of Black Ops 3, which didn't have a campaign, and it was a success. When you support trash games, you get more trash games. And that's exactly what's going on. But people are too stupid to see that. They keep banging on about Fortnite and PUBG, and you will get more Fortnite and PUBG. The reason you get Battle Royale games is because people keep fucking playing them. Okay? The reason you get microtransactions is people keep buying them. This is obvious common sense. This is business. Okay? The people that make these games do not give a shit about you. All they care about is money. They just see the money in front of them. Are we making money? All right? And some of them are idiots, like 343, who think Call of Duty makes X amount of money. Let's copy them. But as much as I dislike it, Rainbow Six Siege has sold way more than all the other Rainbow Six games combined by being a pile of shit. So, business-wise, it was a genius move. The people sitting in their offices smoking cigars and cracking champagne open and going to all the parties, they're living it up over Rainbow Six Siege, right? But Rainbow Six fans, real Rainbow Six fans, not these fake fans who say, oh, I like all the games, but I like Siege. The reason we will never get another good Rainbow Six game is because of you. The reason we will never get another good Rainbow Six game is because of the Siege fans. They have killed Rainbow Six. Yes, Ubisoft, the publisher, might have killed it. Yes, the developers might have killed it. But ultimately, if the game is not received well, then it will not stick. Shit will not stick unless the fan base supports it. Okay? Which is why we're getting these changes with Halo Infinite, because the game had such a bad reception in sales, population, etc. Okay? Just facts. I don't really know how to word this, but what really annoys me, I don't know how much it annoys me or how much I think it should let me annoy me, but what annoys me is the way people casually accept these shitty games and then get upset when they get more shitty games, when they have caused the shitty games. The more you support Rainbow Six Siege, the more shitty games you will get, because that is a shitty game. By objectivity, not by some, oh, I like the gameplay and it's fucking fun. I don't give a shit, right? Get the game in the bargain bin and then play it, okay? You've not given any money to the developer because you're sticking to your principles over the game doesn't have a campaign. That is a standard in video games. That is a standard in first-person shooters, so why is there no campaign? It's a standard in Rainbow Six games, so it's a standard for the gaming industry. It's a standard for the series of games. And your personal standard should be on par with that, right? Overwatch never had a campaign, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't have had a campaign, being as it is an online shooter, and being as most online shooters historically have had a campaign as well. Or other modes, such as firefight, horde mode, yada, yada, yada. Right? And I don't see why Overwatch couldn't do that. The same way, why can't Rainbow Six Siege have a campaign or some sort of mission mode, or even if it's not a classic campaign, the classic sense with a storyline and everything, at least they could have a series of missions where you have to do stuff. And make that long. Make like a Spec Ops from Call of Duty, but make it extra long. Okay? More content is basically what I'm trying to say. The game is just cut content. They haven't given us double the multiplayer content because all that's behind season passes. And that's another thing. Standards go both ways. Standards are not always positive. A standard could be something like all games now have season passes. All games now have microtransactions. That's standard. But when something that you dislike is removed, that's a positive change. That should be rewarded, right? So some things becoming standard is a bad thing. Because why would we want season passes? Why would we want DLC up the ass? Why would we want all this crap when it's cut content, right? But people keep supporting these shitty games. They buy the season pass day one and never play the game again. I'm thinking of Weapons Grade here. He literally bought the Gears of War 4 season pass just to pay double for the game, remind you, to get the game 3 days early. That's the only reason. That's what he did. To get the game 3 days early, he bought the season pass. A season pass that doesn't actually contain any content, because all that content was released for free. And the only thing that the season pass actually does is give you a few extra rec packs and allows you to fucking play the games and play the maps in private match. So you spend double the cost of the game for that, just to play the game 3 days early. It's insane. But then people wonder why it keeps happening. Because people will support this shit. That's what the problem is. So please, spread this video around. Try and educate people yourself. Make your own content. Because in this world of YouTube, which is only a small percentage of the gaming audience, of the people that actually are into video games, everybody seems to be a rabid fanboy. So we need to get these messages out. These messages need to be heard. Okay? Now, I'm not here to save gaming. I have no chance of saving gaming. It's in your hands. It's the people that watch these videos, okay? And it's the people that are in the gaming community that save gaming. Ultimately, it wasn't me that got online passes removed. It was the people. It wasn't me, right, that got EA to do something about Battlefront 2's microtransactions. It wasn't me, right, that got people not to buy fucking Halo 5. It wasn't me that got people not to buy fucking Battlefield 5. It was not me. Okay? People chose that on their own. Okay? All we need to do is educate the people. Let the people decide, right? The problem is the people are not educated. Everybody's got a double standard. Everybody says, oh, well, Overwatch doesn't need a campaign, and, well, Rainbow Six Siege doesn't need a campaign, but Halo does, but this doesn't. But it doesn't make sense, okay? If you dislike Halo for XYZ, then you should also dislike Rainbow Six for XYZ. That has the same model. All these games, right, have the same model, same business plan, everything, okay? Halo 5 was just one of the first. Okay, one of the first. It probably wasn't even the first. Right? All these games. Destiny, how much cut content did I have? Right? Sold back to you as DLC. Then they implemented the microtransactions in Destiny 2. Blah, blah, blah. All using the same fucking business model. Nigh on the same. So, people who complain about one, very strongly, mind you, over one thing, and then completely do an absolute U-turn, those are the kind of people I'm trying to call out on here. These are the kind of people that I'm trying to fucking explain that they are having a double standard. And it doesn't make any sense to me why they continue to support these games. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Why would you support these trash games? If you're serious about what you said in another video about a different game. Now, if you're the kind of person that doesn't give a shit about Halo 5's model, you don't give a shit about Rainbow Six Siege's model, you don't give a shit about any of them, then that's your opinion, right? That's it. You're not being a hypocrite. You're not saying one thing about one game and having a different fucking completely different double standard where you say, well, it's okay in this game. Okay? And then I'm thinking of Rony Boney because that was a glaring one. A glaring one. Favin does it too. Okay, there's other channels. I'm not trying to pick on channels, right? Well, I am sort of picking on channels. That's kind of what my channel does. But only to make a point, right? The point is you say one thing over here about this game, and then you say something different about this game, but it's the same fucking thing. It's the same fucking thing. This game is doing the same as this one. So why does this one get the heat, and this one gets praise, based on what's going on YouTube, based on the general feeling about everybody feels about it. Oh, everybody thinks this game's shit. Well, let's do a fucking video on it saying it's shit. Oh, everybody thinks this game is good. Then it's fucking good. No Man's Sky, classic example. Yeah? No Man's Sky. Yeah, the developers lied. Okay. The developers always lie. Always lie on every game. But the only game that I know that got heat for that was No Man's Sky. Real heat. Absolutely crazy. Okay. If you don't like the game, if you thought it was shit, whatever. You're giving it heat for the same thing. The same thing that you will give another company praise for. That you will set damage control over. You will damage control one game and say, this game is okay. This game, it doesn't matter. But then you'll hate on No Man's Sky. Reason being is you don't have anything invested in that fucking series. Because it's not a series. This is what I'm talking about. This is a total double standard. Across the board. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of the double standards. Okay. There are real standards. Real gaming standards. That we can all understand. Okay. Campaign. Split screen. Right? These are just things that are standard, right? It's like Nintendo. Take Nintendo, for example, right? They're in their own little bubble, Nintendo, right? Nintendo fanboys defend Nintendo to the death, right? And I like Nintendo. I've got a Wii U, GameCube, Wii, 64, blah, 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 right? I like Nintendo. I like Nintendo games. It's true, right? Everybody does. Everybody must have liked at least one Nintendo game at some point. They've made that many great games, right? But Nintendo constantly fails with their online. They constantly fail to put voice chat in their games. They constantly fail with the online side of things. Their console is too expensive. They have problems with the console, and it's all just apologized for. But these are standard things. We have a standard established with the 360 and the PS3. Nintendo does not follow any of these standards, right? And the truth is, the 360 could actually do some things that the Xbox One can't do, such as install music off a CD, or you can move a local save onto a memory card and then move that memory card somewhere else. Can't do that with the fucking Xbox One. Can't do it. You have to use cloud saves. Okay? So, standards change. Okay? Things change. For instance, Xbox One, cloud saves are free. You don't need to have Xbox Live. But for PSN, you do. You have to have PS Plus to have cloud saves. You see? So, the standards are different on different consoles. But eventually, something becomes the overall standard. And when it's an overall standard, it should be adhered to. Otherwise, you should get criticism. And you should fail in the long run. You've got to have a standard. Otherwise, we just keep going backwards. Do you really want Nintendo to go backwards? We want Nintendo to do better. We want a good Nintendo with their quality games so we can all enjoy it and give Microsoft and Sony the competition and vice versa. Because competition creates these great games. That's where these great games come from. They come from competition. They come from competition. You want to buy that console because it's got the best game ever on it. That's what drives developers and manufacturers and publishers to create great games. That's why I'm so against crossplay. I've always been against it. I'll always be against it. Even if it becomes standard across the board, I'll still hate it. Because it's not what the gaming industry needs. It's not. It needs competition. I just find it mind-blowing the way people twist things to their own ends. They twist things to their own personal biases, and they twist it, and then people just listen to them and lap it up, and it just goes round and round. And what is the point? You don't understand it. By supporting shitty games, you might be a huge fucking Halo fan over here, or a huge fucking Gears of War fan over here. Right? And what you're doing by supporting games like Fortnite is killing those franchises. That's what you're doing. And you don't even realize it. That's the stupidity. That is the absolute stupidity of the people who play and enjoy video games. That they can't see by supporting shitty free-to-play games. Or shitty games that, yeah, they might be fun for 5 minutes, or they might be fun for a few days or a week or a month. But they're not going to be these quality experiences. What's going to happen is, if these other games get wind of the success, then what happens? Oh, let's copy them. Let's do what they're doing. Oh, Gears of War, let's make it free to play. That's why they got Game Pass. Right? Pay a fucking pound now today and you can go and get a Game Pass subscription and play all these fucking games, right? Then they're going to sell you microtransactions in the games, basically making everything free to play. Disaster. We're just going to get shitty games that are free to play on the Xbox, right? That's just stupid. It's fucking stupid. So when you're playing these dog shit fucking games, ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? Because what you're actually doing is killing the game industry. Now you might say it's not going to kill it. It's just going to change it. But at what point does it cease to be... At what point does it become something that it wasn't originally? What point does it actually, in fact, die? And then resurrect into something completely different? Okay? What if everything goes free to play? Is that the game industry we have today? I mean, it's completely different. It wouldn't be... So it would, in fact, be dead. It would, in fact, be killed. And then come back as something else. Kind of like a fucking caterpillar in a fucking cocoon that comes back as a butterfly. Except it goes into cocoon and comes out as a pile of shit. This is what's happening. Okay? People support trash games. And then we get more trash games. I did videos on this 2-3 years ago. And it's still going on. It's still going on. I said this way before Fortnite and PUBG came around. Before they were even thought of. I even said in my other video about how, well, why the fuck would I pay money when I can get it for free? I might as well just go for it free to play if that's the case. And that's literally what happened. PUBG came around and then Fortnite did one for free. And now Fortnite's more popular. Why? Because it's free. That's why. Because PUBG has all the microtransactions and shit in it anyway. So why play the game? Why play the game that you have to pay for up front when you can play the free one and you're still paying for the same microtransaction shit anyway? So what's the difference? At least that one's free at the point of delivery. I'm not saying the game's good. I'm just saying it makes sense to why Fortnite is over PUBG, because it's free. And that is why. But the people that are playing this game are killing other franchises because they see the success and then they want to copy it. That's all game developers do, especially these ones that have been farmed in by Microsoft, that are just names, that are just there. They're just odd bods. They're just there to do a job, and that's it. They don't have a passion for this shit, so they don't care. All they do is whatever they're told, right? But the answer has to come from the fans. If a game is crap, don't support it. If a game is crap, do not support it. And have some standards. Have some of your own standards that are deal breakers. Have some deal breaker standards. How the hell can a game come out in 2018 with no campaign, no nothing, and be a hit? How? It was established as a standard in the freaking 90s that you had a campaign. It's just standard. No split screen. Where's the split screen? It's a standard. Oh, some of these games are MMOs and you can't do an MMO. Blah, 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 blah. Bollocks. Phantasy Star Online's an MMO. It's on the GameCube. Has 4-player split screen. What are you going to say now? Oh, well, that's not for all the missions. That's only for part of the game. Yeah, okay. But it has 2-player split screen through the whole game. Right? You can play the main shit with 2 people. Oh, but you can't do the missions in the Hunters Guild. It's 2018. I'm sure we can figure it out. Jesus Christ. MMOs can have split screen. So why hasn't Destiny got split screen? There's no excuse. Why hasn't Destiny got split screen? All these games should have split screen, man. It's standard. It's bollocks. This is what I'm saying. You all defend this shit, but you haven't got a fucking clue what you're talking about. You haven't got a fucking clue. These games could easily have split screen. They could easily have these features. They could easily have a fucking campaign. How the hell doesn't Destiny 1 or 2 actually have an actual campaign? How is that even a thing? How does that happen? How does Rainbow Six Siege not have a campaign when all the other Rainbow Six games did? How did that happen? Because people keep buying games that have no freaking campaign. So they go, well, no one gives a shit about the campaign anyway, so why bother making one? And there you go. They make a game with no campaign, best seller. Oh, great. Well, there'll never be another fucking Rainbow Six campaign then, will there? Isn't it? What's the point in making one if people like the games? Well, don't have them. Yeah. Great, fantastic games on 360. Gears of War, Rainbow Six, Halo 3. Classics. What have we got now? Dog shit in the way of multiplayer games. Yeah, we've got great games on the PS4. Detroit Become Human, Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4. Yeah, we've got some good games on the Xbox One, like Rise Son of Rome, like frickin' Quantum Break. Okay, there are good games out there. They're all single player. They're all single player with some minor multiplayer thrown in. They're not multiplayer greatness. And the games that are multiplayer now are not multiplayer greatness. They're not better than the games that had multiplayer before with campaigns, and they don't even have campaign modes. If there was substantial multiplayer content, if the game had 2 to 3 to 4 times the content in multiplayer that it had previously to make up for the lack of a campaign, then maybe you'd have an argument. But these games have very little in the way of content, and then they try and sell you more in season passes later. How can a game that doesn't have a freaking campaign have a fucking season pass? Does it make sense? You're already getting half a game. Normally a game would have campaign and multiplayer. Now it just has multiplayer. So let's sell them the other half of the multiplayer later. That's what you're paying for now. And you keep doing this. You keep doing this. Why are you doing this? That's all I'm saying. You are causing this. And you know who you are. You are causing this problem. By supporting these shitty games financially. Not so much playing them, because you can get a game in a bargain bin and play it. It's not really going to matter. It's not really going to matter. Yes, it'll affect population numbers and blah, blah, blah. But they're not making that initial money. So by supporting the game financially, especially at release, or buying season passes, or extra content, or skins, or whatever, microtransactions, blah, 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 that is what's killing it. You are supporting not only this trash game, but the trash fucking business model, and the trash fucking microtransactions, and you're killing it. Because all the other games see this, all the other developers and the companies, they see this, and then they copy it. So we get from one trash game to another, and it's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So, yeah. Feel free to subscribe, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you later.
It was a big moment, right?